Greetings, my name is Neosekken, and welcome back to my Let's Play of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. In the last episode, I started my latest investigation into the Gourd Lake mystery, and I discovered two important things. Number one, that the boat shopkeeper, who is currently our prime suspect for having committed the murder that Edgeworth is being accused of, while he is currently still on the run, I managed to investigate his shop, and I found some instructions written by a certain someone that detail the exact method that Phoenix deduced in court on how the boat shopkeeper committed his murder of Robert Hammond. So this pretty much proves that not only was the boat shopkeeper indeed and the one who committed the murder himself, but that someone else is behind the scenes orchestrating the whole thing. So once we started looking into the mastermind, we eventually confirmed via getting Marvin Grossberg to look at the handwriting and everything, that the one who wrote the letter to the boat shopkeeper was none other than Manfred von Karma, the current prosecutor on this case. Now, why he wants revenge on Miles Edgeworth in particular, well, we have yet to really figure that one out. Especially considering that, well, he was the one who basically adopted Edgeworth after he ended up losing his father. I know the reason, and I can promise you this much. It's not going to be pretty. The reasoning behind it. And that's all I'm going to say on it for now. Anyway, so perhaps the biggest thing that happened last episode was the fact that I basically lost this important trump card, this letter, these instructions, to the man who wrote them himself, because Phoenix, like the absolute fucking genius that he is, and that he's demonstrated throughout the entire game really, and during the past two chapters especially, decided to once again repeat history and show our most important trump card to the enemy. In this case, well, Manfred von Karma, the man who wrote the letter. We showed it to him, accused him of basically pointing our fingers at him, and accused him of being the one behind the whole crime, and well, we got tasered for our trouble, and Manfred von Karma, and von Karma not only took the goddamn letter, he ended up taking all the case files of the DL6 incident from the police station when we went to go and look for them originally. So we are severely handicapped going into the last trial day for the Gourd Lake murder. All because Phoenix had to fail to learn from history. Again. Because he's fucking stupid. Thank God he gets smarter in the later games, but seriously though, holy shit. You think he'd know full well by now to not do that. And I think that pretty much covers everything, so let's just go ahead and get our final trial day started, shall we? And bring Dracula to his knees once and for all. December 28th, 9:51 a.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. I got a stake for your heart, Dracula. I hope you're prepared for it. This is it. Judgment Day. Today, things are going to get settled at last. A lot of things. Okay, who shocked me? Again. I'll kill him. Wah! What's the big idea? Sorry, Nick. Let me touch your shoulder. I guess the shock hasn't worn off from my run-in with the stun gun yesterday. You are just very good at storing electricity, aren't you, Maya? Apparently you're good for more than just spirit channeling. You're also good for electric channeling, too. I wonder what else you'd be good for channeling for. Anyhow, today's last day of the trial. Good luck, Nick. I don't need luck. I just need time and patience. Yeah. Thanks, Maya. Edgeworth is looking glum as always. Well, why wouldn't he? I mean, that's pretty much his default expression. Glum or stern. Sometimes both. I hope von Karma doesn't push him too hard. Your hopes are gonna go unanswered. I don't even know why you even bother, considering what we've seen of the man up until now. Whoa! What are you doing? Sorry. I'm sorry. Just thought I'd cheer you up with a pat on the back. Maya, maybe you should go outside and discharge? Right. Good idea. Just don't go grabbing random passerby, whatever you do. Someone might arrest you for assault. Try not to electrocute anyone on your way out. Woo! Yeah, pal! Poor Sweet Shoe. What's gotten into that girl? Lots and lots of electricity. Detective Gumshoe. Morning, Mr. Edgeworth. Good morning. How did it go, Detective? Have no fear. As promised, I've captured our runaway caretaker. I just brought him in. Took all night, pal. Thanks, Detective Gumshoe. You must be tired. Actually, after that shock I got on the way in, I feel pretty good. Well, that's good. Yogi says he's forgotten his own name. But that has to be a lie. Why would he want revenge on Edgeworth if he couldn't remember his past? I don't know, maybe Edgeworth tossed some ice cream on his head or something the day before the murder, and that was just what drove him over the edge? I have no fucking clue. Actually, yes, I do. I'm just talking out my ass. He does remember, and I'm going to prove it. I'm just putting out possibilities, is all. I mean, humans are special. We'll think... Sometimes we don't need a good reason to go and kill somebody. December 28th, 10 a.m. District Court, Courtroom number 3. Round 3, Dracula! Court is now in session for the trial of Miles Edgeworth. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution is ready. To meet your maker? I agree. Right. Very well. We have reached the final day of our proceedings in this trial. I ask that the prosecution submits decisive evidence. Understood. You're very chatty. Come on, don't be on to silence by every little thing he says. Very well, Mr. Von Karma, your opening statement. Right. Thanks to Detective Gumshoe's efforts, the boat rental shop caretaker has been arrested. In yesterday's trial, the defense asserted that the caretaker was the murderer. However, the caretaker has yet to confirm this. Well, if he's trying not to get caught, why would he? I would like to ask the defense to cross-examine him as much as necessary. Very well. Please bring the witness into the courtroom. I got you now, Yogi Bear. Ladies and gentlemen of the court, I believe you all remember our witness. He lives in the boat rental shop on the lake from where he witnessed the incident. In addition, he has currently lost memory of his name and identity. Witness! Why did you run away yesterday? The witness was not running away, as he will now testify. Sure he wasn't. Sure. And I wasn't kicking your ass in trial yesterday. I see. Very well. Please begin your testimony. Although to be fair, I was the idiot that gave you my trump card. So, why you left court? Do tell me why you left, Yogi Bear. I'm quite curious to know. What good reason could you have had to leave court yesterday when you did? It totally had nothing to do with the fact that I was about to basically get you sent to jail, was it? I'm really sorry about just leaving yesterday like I did. But I wasn't running away or nothing. I went to buy some food for Polly, see? I figured I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. I mean, I need one of those motive things, right? And I don't got one. Well, I strongly disagree with you on that. We got your parrot. And we also have the case summary here. I'm just trying to remember. Which one do I present here? So my testimony yesterday stands as is. Very well. Let's begin the cross-examination, shall we? He has to know his name. Yanni Yogi. You're Yanni Yogi, and I'm going to prove it. So I gotta show you something that shows that you know your name. Why don't I just press on stuff for now and see what happens? See what I can draw out of him. I'd call what you did running away and not just leaving. You heard Larry's testimony and realized you were in danger. Now, Mr. Wright, there's no need to rush to conclusions. As I said, the witness was not running away. Listen to the testimony. He sure seems relaxed. In fact, they both do. Von Karma and Yanni Yogi. Well, of course they do. We gave away our trump card for free. They feel like they got this shit in the bag. But I wasn't running away or nothing. Then why did you leave? He's just about to say why. Is it so hard for you to just quietly listen when someone is talking? In a courtroom, yes it is. If I sat quietly, Edgeworth would be guilty in 3 minutes. I went to buy some food for Polly, see? Food. Well, Polly's a bit of a gourmand, you see. She only eats these high-quality bird pellets from France. They only have them in the big pet shop downtown. But you weren't arrested until this morning. Why didn't you go back to the caretaker's shack? Well, I kind of got lost, you see. The witness has trouble remembering things sometimes. When the police apprehended him, he was on his way back to the shack. Yeah, right. Nice try, Von Karma. No one's going to believe that. Except Santa Claus here. I see. So he was lost. Please, Your Honor, come to your senses. I fear I got nothing to do with this incident anyhow. You've lost much of your memory, is that correct? Okay, I think maybe it's this statement I gotta present evidence on. Yep, seems like it. Then how could you know that you didn't have anything to do with this incident? Or maybe you're lying about not having your memory, You know exactly who you are! The witness has testified quite clearly that he has no memory of who he is, and people can lie on the stand, Drac. Or off the stand, kind of like you, in fact. If you claim he's lying, then show the court proof. I'm supposed to prove what's going on in that old cogger's head. It's impossible. I'm glad you've come to your senses, Mr. Wright. Very well, witness. Please continue. I mean, I need one of those motive things, right? And I don't got one. How can you say you had no motive? I say you do. You had a grudge against Edgeworth and the victim, Robert Hammond. That's why you took revenge on them, right? Please don't make me repeat myself, Mr. Wright. The witness has no memory of anything beyond several years ago. He can't hold a grudge. It's impossible. I have to prove he's lying about his memory. Otherwise, it's going to be the same thing over and over until the trial ends. Might I say something, Mr. Wright? Yes, Yes, Your Honor? You've been saying the same thing now over and over. You've been calling the witness's memory of the past, or lack thereof, into question. But does this really have anything to do with the current case? Everything, actually! Of course, Your Honor. The witness has said he has nothing to do with this case and no motive. Both of these statements are lies. Okay, so I was safe to press on everything. Order! Order! Mr. Wright, there's a serious problem with your claim. Or are you saying you know who this witness is? Of course, Your Honor. Now, this is interesting. I would like to know myself. So, who is he? Don't play dumb on karma. Mr. Wright, please tell us this witness's name. It's actually Gregory Edgeworth, coming back from the dead to take revenge on his son for killing him. No, it's actually Yanni Yogi. His name is Yanni Yogi, a former court bailiff. Yogi? That name seems familiar. Oh! Yanni Yogi! From the DL6 incident! Figures the judge would have heard of it. It was such a famous case. But what does this mean? Your Honor, if this man is Mr. Yogi, then he has a clear motive. Jumping to conclusions again, Mr. Wright. This man, this witness, is Yanni Yogi. Fascinating. However, how do you propose to prove this to the court? And I hear thunder outside. I hope for my sake it doesn't get bad enough to knock out power for me again, mid-recording, because that would suck. This is a court of law, as you may recall. You need proof. And allow me to repeat once more that the witness has lost his memory. This is it. I have to do this now. If I can't prove he's Yogi right here, right now, then I've got nowhere else to go. Nick, how are you going to prove it? How can you prove that he's Yanni Yogi? Well, I got a few things here. I got this bird. I got this file. What else do I have? I got this bullet, maybe. It's okay. Oh wait, it's safe. That's right. It's okay. It's actually quite simple. Your Honor, please take this man's fingerprints. Then, we'll compare them to the fingerprints on file for Yanni Yogi 15 years ago. I see. That makes sense. And there's a reason we can't do that, right, Dracula? Huh? I'm so very, very sorry, Mr. Wright. Why? The witness has no fingerprints. And why is that, Drac? Did you bite them off while you were sucking out his blood? What? What? No fingerprints? You see, before I worked as a caretaker, I worked at a chemical plant. I burned my fingers working at this stuff. Yep. What? You sneak. You burned your fingerprints off to hide your past. That must have hurt, though. Well, if the witness has no fingerprints, I guess we'll not be able to prove his identity. Well, do we have the guy's DNA on file? Maybe we can just do a blood test. No. Well, what will you do, Mr. Wright? It seems that the case has been decided, no? No! I know what happened. I know everything. I just can't prove it. Well, we kinda have to prove it, otherwise we're fucked. But no, I can't let it end like this. I can't lose. There has to be another way. There is no one who can testify as to who this witness is. No one. Nick! What are we going to do? I didn't even consider that he might have erased his fingerprints. What do I do? Well, Mr. Wright, perhaps you'd like to cross-examine his parrot for a little comic relief, That's actually a very good idea. Yeah, very funny. You're a sore winner, Von Karma. Wait a second. Cross-examine his parrot? What is it, Nick? No, you're not going to. Your Honor! The defense would like to take Mr. Von Karma up on his proposal. Now, I think I vaguely remember suggesting to you guys a few episodes back to keep some kind of little thing regarding his pet bird in mind for later on in the trial. I think I did. If I did, well, now's the time for you to drudge up that little statement of mine, along with everything that I told you was relevant to it. Take Mr. Von Karma up on my proposal. Exactly, Your Honor. I would like to cross-examine the witness's pet parrot! You've done it, Dracula. You've driven my attorney completely fucking bonkers. I hope you're proud of yourself. Well, of course you would be. That's a dumb question. Well, you can go to hell. Order! Order! Well, what do you think, Mr. Von Karma? Need you even ask? This is a farce. I object. Objection! No, I object. Wait a second. You were the one who suggested I cross-examine the parrot, Von Karma. I have a right to do as you suggested. Well, if you're so desperate, then please, be my guest. Of course, should you go through with this, and nothing comes of it, then I hope you're ready for the consequences. Nick, this is crazy. Crazy fucking awesome, which I'm going to demonstrate it in full force in just minutes. Well, still want to go through with your little game? Yup! Let the parrot take the stand. I will cross-examine her, Your Honor. This is the most ridiculous thing I have ever heard! Von Karma's rigged every person's testimony, every piece of evidence. Except the parrot. She's my last chance. At least, I think so. To think that I'm going to rely on this entire trial being swayed in my favor on a fucking parrot. Bring Polly some crackers. We're going to need them. Bailiff! Bring in the parrot! Hey, Polly. How you doing, Polly? That's quite a bird. Please tell us your name. Name! The witness is ignoring me. You're actually trying to get the name, though. I mean, I know there's a procedure to this whole thing and all, but still, it's a fucking parrot. It must be hurt to be ignored by a bird. Ahem. Very well, witness. Who is your owner? Please, testify for us. Who is your owner? Well, here we go. Your silence is deafening. Please continue. Hello? Hello? What? Hello, hello is the owner. Got it! Judge! Issue an arrest warrant for hello! Certainly the most concise testimony we've had so far. Very well. Begin your cross-examination. Right. What are you going to do, Nick? Cross-examine the bird! I don't know. What do we do, Maya? Well, we gotta shout at it! Witness! You can't just say hello and expect us to get anywhere! I want you to testify! Maya, you talk to her. Right, what do I say? And this is where we turn the whole fucking thing around. What's your name? Maybe I should get her to say her name. Polly! Polly! What's your name? Polly! Polly! What? Mr. Wright, I think we've established that this parrot is named Polly. Does this have anything to do with her owner's identity? Yup, it does! Yes, it does. Ha! Fascinating. You claim that the parrot's name will prove her owner's identity. Then show us this proof! Nick, don't you think you're taking the bluffing a little too far? Not at all! I'm not taking it far enough! Listen, we're not here to answer the question of who is the caretaker. We're here to prove that he is Yanni Yogi. All we have to do is tie the name Polly to Yogi. Your Honor, the proof that the parrot's name reveals the caretaker's identity is the DL6 case file.
Take that!
The DL6 case file? That's quite a large file you have there. Which page is this proof on, then? Number 3. Show us or stop wasting our time! Very well, Mr. Wright. Please show us the page. Where in this file is the information connected to this parrot's name? Okay, it doesn't just list a number. Suspect data. Here we are. It's on the suspect data page. This page has all the information about Yanni Yogi. Right after he was arrested, his fiancée committed suicide, see? Indeed, it does say that, yes. What was his fiancée's name? Polly Jenkins. Polly! Exactly, Your Honor. He wanted to remember the name of his fiancée who had committed suicide. That's why he named his parrot after her. I see. I guess that is possible.
Objection!
Bah! A mere coincidence, that's all. My granddaughter has a dog she calls Phoenix. And I bet you kick that puppy around like it's nobody's business, huh, jackass? Well, Mr. Phoenix Wright, does this make you my granddaughter's fiancé? She's only 7 years old! What are you implying? Indeed. Alone is a little weak for evidence in a murder trial. We would need some other corroborating evidence. How am I going to find that? We gotta press some more, bitch! Nick, we're getting closer. One more. If we can just get one more piece of evidence. Right, but what? Very well, witness. You may continue. Well, I guess we could try to get some information out of her. We need to show the judge that our owner is Mr. Yogi. I wonder what happens if I just press on the silence here. I don't remember. Witness, you're here to speak! You must speak to me! Frankly, I can't believe that you're speaking to the parrot. Okay. That was underwhelming. Witness! Okay, so, we can attack this from the other two choices that we can attack this from the other two choices that are left to us. We can ask what's the safe number, and if we can establish from there, after asking this question, that the safe number and the date of the DL6 incident are indeed the same, we're good to go from there. But I want to leave a more bigger impression and ask, have we forgotten something? Which, if you know what Polly says to that question, you'll see why I think it will leave much more of an impact. As I recall, 2 days ago. Polly, have we forgotten something? Squawk, don't forget DL6. Squawk. If I can get Polly to say that here, that'll prove that the caretaker had something to do with DL6. Polly? Oh, wait, I think I just now remembered. This isn't gonna work. You'll see why in just a minute. Polly? Have we forgotten something? Well, clearly Polly has forgotten. Hello! Hello! Squawk? That's not what you're supposed to say. Forgot. Something we forgot. Hello. Hello. What? Uh-oh. It's not working, Nick. She won't say it. This is ridiculous. Why won't she say it? Something the matter, Mr. Wright. And that smile tells me everything. You threatened the bird. Fuck you. Wait. Don't tell me Von Karma expected this. He could never train the parrot. Could he? Give the guy credit. He's dedicated to his craft and making a perfect case. Did he train her not to respond when we asked if we'd forgotten anything? Apparently. So we gotta ask the safe number. After all, maybe I'll get her to say the number that's safe. Huh? Safe? Why? Stop reading my mind. Let's just try to get her to say anything, okay? Polly? What was the number? Polly, what was the number to the safe in the shack? That was a loud rumble. 1228. 1228. My, what a reckless parrot. Well, Mr. Wright, you aren't claiming that this number has something to do with the caretaker. Yes, it does, actually. It does. That's why I had her say it. Ha! Ridiculous. How could the number to a safe tell us who the caretaker is? Show us your proof. What could possibly link this number to the caretaker's true identity? I ask that you look at this file again. Specifically, case summary. Look at the date.
Take that!
A DL6 case file. What is this obsession you have with that case? I could ask you the same thing. Mr. Wright, where in this file is something relating to that safe number? Case summary. It's on the case summary page. The case summary? Specifically, the date on which the DL6 incident occurred. The date of the incident? December 28th. Why, that's today's date. 15 years ago. And the number on that safe is 1228. Ah! He used the date of the DL6 incident as a number for his safe, Your Honor. That's how important that date was to him. I see. It certainly is an interesting coincidence. People often do set their secret numbers to dates. Is that a fact for you, Judge? Bah! This is not tangible proof. I set my ATM card's number to 0001 because I'm number 1. Well, thank you, Dracula. Now I know your ATM's card number. Now all I need is your PIN number, and I can rob you blind. Not that I would actually do that, of course. And you shouldn't either, because that's highly illegal. This has nothing to do with the date. Nothing! That's enough! I think we've reached a conclusion here. This is a mere coincidence. That's all. True, that is a possibility. However, two coincidences at the same time seems more like a pattern to me. You and me both, buddy. What are you saying? Summon the caretaker of the boat shop. Immediately! Witness. Tell us your name.
Objection!
Wait! This witness, he doesn't remember. No. It's okay. Finally done playing dumb, Yogi? I've accomplished what I wanted to do. I'm done. I got you now, Yogi Bear. Nick, he totally looks different. This is the real Yogi, I think. Finally. He's been acting feeble to hide his true identity. Acting? For 15 years! That's quite some dedication. Well, let me ask you again. Please state your name for the court. My name is Yanni Yogi. 15 years ago, I served as a bailiff in this very court. Order! Order! Yanni Yogi. So was it you who killed Robert Hammond? And tried to frame Miles Edgeworth for his death? Yes. It was me. I did it. They put me on the witness stand 15 years ago. Robert Hammond. He said I was mentally unsound. He told me it would make me innocent. Get me off the hook. So, I pretended to have brain damage. I was innocent, really. But he didn't believe me. We won the trial. But I lost everything. I lost my job, my fiancé, my social standing. Then, this year, 15 years later, a package arrived. It was a letter and a pistol. The plan was written out in careful detail. It was a plan for me to take my revenge on the people who ruined my life. I didn't care who had sent it. I thought this was my chance. After 15 years, this was it! Finally, I have a chance to have my revenge on Robert Hammond and Miles Edgeworth. I have no regrets. Wait a moment! Revenge? Against Miles Edgeworth? What do you mean? I'm not at liberty to speak on that matter. Why don't you ask Mr. Edgeworth yourself? Anyway, I admit it. I was the one who killed Robert Hammond. Well, we got our killer. But we're not done yet. Von Karma, where's Mr. Yogi? Under arrest, Your Honor. I saw no room for error in his confession. Then, the defendant, Miles Edgeworth, is innocent. In this case, at least. Here it comes. He's gonna bring up DL6. Very well. Will the defendant please take the stand? There are a few mysteries left unsolved. Still, you are cleared of suspicion for this particular case. So I would like to pass judgment on the murder of Mr. Robert Hammond. Any objections? I don't believe it. Why isn't Von Karma saying anything? Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Not guilty. That is all. This court is adjourned.
Objection!
Did someone say objection? Yes, it's the warty friend on the witness stand who is about to make life hell for me. It wasn't Von Karma. Wait, what that means? No. Edgeworth? Your Honor, I object to your judgment. What do you mean? I'm not innocent at all. As we have heard, Yanni Yogi killed Robert Hammond in revenge. But revenge for what? Nick! Edgeworth is trying to confess. He's going to say he's guilty. He's going to tell him he was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He's going to tell him he killed his own dad. Uh-oh. What do I do? Well, I'm fucked no matter what in this instance, so it really doesn't matter whether I raise an objection or just leave it to Edgeworth. But I might as well just go ahead and raise an objection anyway, because I'm a fighter. The judgment has already been passed. I object to Edgeworth's outburst. Didn't something like this happen yesterday, too? I believe a certain witness raised an objection after a guilty verdict was passed. That would be Larry. We must hear this new statement. We must hear Miles Edgeworth. And he's turning my little trump card with Larry, excuse me, against me. Bastard. He's right. We have a duty to hear Mr. Edgeworth out. For 15 years, I have had a recurring dream. A nightmare. It's only a nightmare. That's what I told myself. But now I know it wasn't a dream. Yanni Yogi wasn't the killer. You mean, in the incident where your father died? From the distance of the shot, it wasn't suicide either. Everything was as clear as day. The murderer. The criminal in the DL6 incident. It was me! Your Honor, I confess my guilt. I am guilty for DL6, the statute of limitations of which ends today. The culprit is me! Why do you keep pointing at me? Order. Order! This is certainly unexpected. The defendant, declared innocent, is confessing to a different crime. A crime which's statute of limitations runs out today. I'm not really sure how I should deal with this. Bah! It's obvious. We hold a trial. Right here. Right now. We try this man for his crime of 15 years ago. Told you it wasn't over. I think I would like to take a 5-minute recess. During this time, I will consider the appropriate course of action to take. Court is adjourned. December 28th, 2:24 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. I'm sorry, Wright. You damn well better be. I just wasted all of your effort. Sir Edgeworth. I just don't believe it, sir. I mean, you kill your dad. I didn't want to believe it myself, Detective. But it's the truth. I deserve to be punished. Murder is murder, no matter what the circumstances. This is crazy! Just crazy! Nick? What are you doing? Well, I would like to whap Edgeworth with a newspaper, but since I can't do that... Huh? Oh. I was just reading through the court record once more. I'm getting my case ready. Your case? For what? Huh? Isn't it obvious? I'm going to prove that Miles Edgeworth is innocent. Okay, so we gotta get rid of some evidence before we go back in. What are you talking about, pal? He just admitted to it. He confessed that he did it. In court. I'm sorry, Edgeworth, but I don't believe your nightmare. What? It's just a dream. It's not real. The truth is right here in this court record. In any case, tighten your belts. The real fight is just beginning. I'll prove you're innocent. Trust me. Right. December 28th, 2:30 p.m., District Court, Courtroom Number 3. Now then, I would like to resume our trial. Judge! Miles Edgeworth has admitted his own guilt. He has confessed his crime. Let's begin by hearing his testimony. Then, though pointless, let the defense do their cross-examining. The statute of limitations on the DL6 incident runs out today. Though it's unconventional for me, I like to run this one by the book. Want to make sure that he's pretty much proven as thoroughly guilty as possible, huh, Dracula? It's okay. I'm gonna run things by the book, too. I see. Does the defense have any objections? No, Your Honor. Karma. You knew this was going to happen from the very beginning, didn't you? Well, of course he did. Very well. Will Miles Edgeworth take the stand? Will the witness state his name and profession? Miles Edgeworth. I am a prosecuting attorney. Mr. Edgeworth, 15 years ago, you mistakenly killed your father, Gregory Edgeworth. Is this correct? It is correct. Then testify about this matter to the court. When Edgeworth was telling me about his dream yesterday, I noticed something. One detail didn't quite fit. That'll be the key, but only if I can get it to work. One detail didn't quite fit. I'm trying to think. I'm assuming you mean the bullet hole in that elevator in that elevator door, right? Right in the window? I feel like I should remember this, but I don't. Please. Please. Okay, for now I'm just gonna press on there. Oh, wait. I'm not there yet. That day, I had gone to the courtroom to observe one of my father's trials. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. Just then, something heavy fell at my feet. I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. That's all. And until now, you thought this memory was a dream. We were stuck in that elevator for 5 hours. The oxygen in the elevator ran out, and I lost my memory of the events. Bah! The same claim Mr. Yogi has made. Very well. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination, please. Yes, Your Honor. I think I should just press on everything for now. See if I can get Edgeworth to give me a vital clue. What was the trial your father was involved in on that day? I don't remember things very clearly. Only 2 things. I know my father lost, and Mr. Von Karma was the prosecuting attorney. Mr. Von Karma? You were handling that case. It was 15 years ago. I don't remember the details. That was when Edgeworth pointed out the problem in Von Karma's evidence. As we went to leave, an earthquake struck, trapping us in the elevator. So there were 3 people, including yourself, trapped in that elevator. Yes, myself, my father, and Yanni Yogi. We were fine at first. But then as time passed, no one came to help. My father and Mr. Yogi lost their composure and began to argue. What did you do then? I was a 9-year-old boy at the time. What could I do? I was scared, trembling, in the corner. But then, just then, something heavy fell at my feet. What was it? A pistol. I assume it was the bailiff, Yanni Yogi's. The safety must have come off when it fell from his holster. And you picked it up. What happened next? I picked it up and threw it at Mr. Yogi. I wanted them to stop fighting. Did you know it was a pistol when you threw it? I think I knew. I knew it was dangerous. But the air was getting so thick, I panicked. So, you're saying that you threw the pistol at Mr. Yogi? I was in a daze. A moment later, there was a single gunshot, then a scream. The gun fired once. Yes. I think after I threw it, I lost consciousness. Since then, they've echoed in my head every day. That gunshot and that horrible scream. The scream. It was a terrible scream. I remember it to this day. Well, tell me about it. To this day. Yes, I can practically hear it now. I doubt I will ever forget that scream as long as I live. There it is. One part of that testimony clearly contradicts the evidence. But I don't know what it means. Better find out quick. So it's a scream. It's a terrible scream. Victim data. Weapons fired twice. Single gunshot. Oh no. I need to use this. Specifically, the victim data. Because the murder weapon was fired twice in that case.
Objection!
Are you sure you only heard one gunshot? Yes, I'm sure of that. I heard the shot and the scream. Then everything faded. I was unconscious until the rescuers came. I see. No, Your Honor. Unfortunately, you don't. But he can see everything. He has the highest seat in the whole fucking court. Look at this file one more time. This plainly contradicts the witness's testimony. You do enjoy dragging out that file, don't you? Well, it's not my fault that this file is incredibly fucking useful. I don't accept this evidence. Unless you can tell us what page it's on. Okay. Which page contradicts Miles Edgeworth's testimony? Victim data. Look at the victim data in this file. It says it quite plainly. The murder weapon was fired twice. Miles Edgeworth only heard one gunshot. Yet, the murder weapon was fired twice. The first shot was the accidental firing when the pistol was thrown. So, who fired the remaining shot? Good question. Was there perhaps another shooter who fired that second shot? Your Honor, as I'm sure you're aware, This incident occurred 15 years ago. The evidence is dated. And yet you insist that we try Edgeworth for this 15-year-old crime. The pistol did fire twice. However, we do not know when that second shot was fired. It might have been fired the day before the incident. There is no proof that the second shot had anything to do with this incident. What? I see. You do have a point. Mr. Wright, the murder weapon was fired twice, as we have heard. One of those shots was fired by the defendant, a boy at the time. Do you have any proof that the other shot had fired something to do with this case? Yes, actually. Your Honor, I think I'll be able to show you proof. What? Impossible! Now, Mr. Von Karma. Save your surprise for after you've seen the evidence. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show us your proof. Do you have the evidence that the second firing the pistol is related to this incident? To this incident? Well, look at this photograph.
Take that!
Look at this photograph. This is a photograph of the scene of the crime, 15 years ago. I can see that the victim lying there is Gregory Edgeworth. This proves the murder weapon was fired twice, at the time of the incident. This photo proves it. So, let me get this straight. This photo proves 2 shots were fired. Where? Are you blind, man? Your Honor, please. Please get a clue. Show the judge the contradiction in the photo. Here. Right where I'm pointing. As should be obvious, the contradiction is here. I see. A bullet hole in the door. Your Honor, Gregory Edgeworth was killed by a shot from the pistol. Yet, there is also a bullet hole in the elevator door. We also know that the murder weapon was fired twice. Thus, someone other than Edgeworth fired that second shot! Order! Order! Mr. Wright, what are you driving at? It's simple, Your Honor. At the time of the incident, 2 shots were fired. One went into Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other hit the elevator door. Remember that the defendant lost consciousness after the shot he fired rang out. In conclusion, we must agree that the second shot was fired by someone else. Mr. Wright, but who could that someone else be? The murderer, of course.
Objection!
What a very quiet objection that you have. I knew I should have stepped in before your wild fantasies got out of hand. Well, you're gonna regret it big time soon, buddy. Mr. Wright, look once more at the DL6 incident case file. Look closely. Try the case summary page. The case summary? That's on page 1. Look what is written there. Not a single clue was found on the scene. If the pistol had indeed been fired 2 times, then the other bullet would have been discovered on the scene. He does have a point. That second bullet has never been found. Why? Because the second bullet does not exist. The bullet that claimed Gregory Edgeworth's life was the one fired by his own son. That is the truth of this matter. The whole truth. It was undoubtedly something else that made that bullet hole in the door. Oh yeah? Like what? A pellet gun? Order! I'll have order! Mr. Wright has proven one thing to us quite clearly. That the murder weapon was fired twice at the time of the incident. However, as Mr. Von Karma says, the second bullet fired was not found. It is highly unlikely that the police merely overlooked this second bullet. So, all we have is the single bullet fired. I'm afraid I have to discount the defense's claim. Well, unfortunately for the prosecution, I know where the second bullet is. And it's going to be very, very unfortunate for him indeed once he figures out where it is. Where I know where it is. Well, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Well, whatever. Point is, there's going to be lots of regrets coming from the prosecution's side very, very fucking soon. I praise the judge for his wisdom in this matter. Gah. How did this happen? I can't believe that the second bullet didn't exist. Was I wrong? No, you are right. Have I been wrong about this? Have I been wrong about this whole incident? What are you doing, Nick? Why aren't you raising an objection? Sorry, Maya. What? It looks like I was wrong. Nick? If the second bullet wasn't there, then all my conjectures are for nothing. No. But you said you'd do it, Nick. You said you'd get Edgeworth declared innocent. Yes, I did. Still working on it. I'm sorry. It's just, when I saw the photograph, I thought that 2 shots had been fired. I was so certain of it. I thought I'd won. I thought there was another person. Someone else who fired the killing shot. But now, I was wrong to think it could be that simple. This case has stood unsolved for 15 years. Nick. Well, it seems that we have finally cleared up this incident. Only 1 bullet was found at the scene of the crime. That shot was fired by Miles Edgeworth. Precisely. I would like to ask one thing of Miles Edgeworth before passing my verdict. Have you been paying attention to the trial so far? Yes, Your Honor. Do you have any objections? No. No, I do not. So you killed your father, though it was not your intention. Yes, I did. Oh no. He's accepted the guilt. And I reject it. Very well. The statute of limitations on the murder of Gregory Edgeworth runs out today. Therefore, I must pronounce a verdict on the defendants today. Right here. Right now! Indeed. Does anyone have any objections? I've been here before. It's just like my first day in court. There are so many things I know I should be saying, but my mind's gone blank. I can't find the words. Mr. Wright, I have an objection.
Objection!
Your Honor, I object. Mr. Wright, on what grounds do you object? Nick? I don't know. This case is perfect. Perfectly set up for a huge fall. Oh no. Gah! It must exist. The second bullet. What? What did you just say? Nothing. The second bullet must exist? But where? Tell me your secrets, Mia. Where is the second bullet? Someone took it. It seems waiting is not going to produce us any answers from Mr. Wright. Wait, Your Honor! The second bullet! It existed! What? But we just heard proof that it did not exist! I realize that, Your Honor. I'm really grasping here. It's just someone took it from the scene of the crime. That's what happened. But who? The murderer!
Objection!
The murderer? Then tell us, just who is this murderer? I'm still thinking about that one. So the criminal took the second bullet. But why? Huh? First of all, how would they have found it? It's not easy to find a stray bullet, Mr. Wright. there some pressing need for the murderer to search for that bullet? The murderer had to find it. Of course there was a need. That's why they took it. Bah! What possible reason could they have had? Well, the reason the murderer took the bullet away from the scene with him is the bullet would be proof. Maybe they thought that the bullet would be used as proof? Proof. It was a special bullet, so they took it with them. If that was the case, then they should have taken the bullet from inside Gregory as well. Huh? Why would they only take one of the 2 shots fired? Oh, right. Mr. Wright, have you really thought this through? What do you think, What do you think, Santa? I'm going to have to penalize you. Oh, god damn it. Ugh, this isn't going so well. The murderer didn't need it. Why would the murderer have spent the time to look for that stray bullet? I haven't got a clue. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Bah! The murderer had no reason to take that bullet. You don't want to admit it, but it's true. Ugh. Had to take it. Had to take it. Murderer. What does that mean? The murderer had to take the bullet. You're thinking too normal. Think crazy. Don't think why the bullet was taken. Think why the bullet had to be taken. You know, Maya's the one that's supposed to be the spirit channeler here. Why the hell am I hearing your voice? Unless Phoenix has some spirit channeling abilities that we aren't aware of. Mr. Wright? Yes, Your Honor. I have no idea what I'm doing. Well, the murderer had no intention of taking the bullet from the scene. But, the murderer had to take that bullet. Had to, Mr. Wright? What do you mean? Well, for instance... For instance, what? Maybe the bullet, hit the murderer? The bullet hit the murderer? Just saying, for instance. And this is where I start to toss a snowball down a snowy hill and send it plowing straight into Von Karma's face. I had to struggle with that one. Just saying, for instance. I mean, if it hit you, you would have to take it with you, wouldn't you? It's not like you could perform surgery right there, unless you were a surgeon and you happen to have some surgeon tools on you right at that second. Maybe then you could. You know? Wait a second. I was just talking off the top of my head, but what if that's really what happened? Let me get this straight. So at the time the murderer themselves was shot, and they left with the second bullet still inside of them, thus leaving only one bullet at the scene of the crime. Yes. I guess that's how it would work, yes. But there's a problem with that. The other 2 people rescued from that elevator, Miles Edgeworth and Yana Yogi, were both unharmed. So that would mean the murderer came from outside, yes. Dun dun dun! The 2 men fight inside the elevator. Trying to stop them, the boy picks up the pistol at his feet and throws it. The pistol discharges, and the bullet goes through the elevator door and hits the murderer outside. The boy loses consciousness. Then the murderer opens the elevator door and sees the men inside. Mr. Wright, you are truly the most unpredictable defense attorney I've ever known. I can tell you're grasping, yet I cannot deny the possibility of what you say. What are you saying? Deny it! Deny it! No one involved in the incident was wounded. There was no murderer. No one was wounded at the time of the incident. He's right. I can't think of anyone. Hey, Nick. Huh? I just thought of something really crazy. Crazy? Remember what Mr. Grossberg said yesterday? Gregory Edgeworth dealt a blow to his perfect trial record. Wow. It must have been quite a shock for Von Karma. He took a vacation for several months after that, you see. Yes, an unusual event for the man. That was the first and the last vacation he's taken in his many years of prosecuting. What if Von Karma didn't take a vacation because of shock, but took it because he was injured? So basically, you know what this, you know where I'm sure you guys know where they're going with this, right? We're gonna accuse Dracula there of being the murderer and thus the true culprit of the DL6 incident. Which would mean, it could only mean one thing. He was the murderer in the DL6 incident. He was the man who shot Gregory Edgeworth. It was Von Karma. Oh man. Well, that would explain then why he orchestrated this whole incident at Gourd Lake in the present day. He's the murderer, and yet he wants to get revenge on Miles Edgeworth. For some reason. But I'm sure we'll get to that reason very, very soon. Something wrong, Mr. Wright. You seem dazed. No, Your Honor. Well, you have indicated the possibility that the murderer came from outside. Can you give us the name of your suspect? Uh-oh. Should I come out and say it now? Yes! Your Honor, there is a suspect. One lone suspect. Is your heartbeat getting a little faster, Dracula? I hope it is. Well, this is certainly interesting news. Very well, Mr. Wright. Who is your suspect? My hands are shaking. Well, stop shaking. What? Von Karma! Von Karma? Don't look so smug, Dracula. I'm about to ruin your entire career. You mean the Von Karma? The prosecutor? The one standing right over there? Ah. You don't object. I see no need. Why honor this ridiculous outburst with my objection? Because you took a vacation for several months, starting the day after the incident. Yet you pride yourself on a perfect record. Why would you take such a long vacation without any reason? So you're claiming that I took a vacation to heal my injury from the incident. Fascinating. Prove it. I would have needed surgery, no. Where did I go under the knife at, Mr. Wright? Bring the doctor that operated on me. Have him testify. Nick, let's find out who his doctor is. It's no use. Edgeworth? I know Von Karma. Perhaps too well. He's perfect. He wouldn't leave clues. He probably didn't undergo surgery, which would mean that the bullet is still in him. And you want to know how I can prove that? I'll let you take a look at the court record for just a minute here and come to your own conclusions. He probably didn't undergo surgery. That would leave a doctor as a witness. Nobody's that perfect. So what, Nick? Did Von Karma pull the bullet out by himself? That's insane. No, he couldn't have. You can't just pull bullets out of your... You can't just pull bullets out of yourself. You can if you know what you're doing. Wait, what does that mean? That bullet has to be somewhere. But where? Well, Mr. Wright, can you produce evidence to prove that I was shot? Yes, actually. All right, Von Karma, I'll prove it. And I'll even use evidence. I know how you like it so much. What? The evidence that proves Von Karma was shot is this trusty little metal detector that Sweet Shoe gave me.
Take that!
Von Karma is perfect. He wouldn't risk surgery, leaving an evidence trail. So then, I ask, where is that bullet now? I think it unlikely that Von Karma performed surgery on himself. You don't mean... I do. There's the possibility that the bullet is still inside Von Karma. Is that even possible? For all these years? Well, there is one way to find out. We could use this metal detector. Well, Von Karma, I'm going to run this over you and see what we find. Oh, it feels so good to watch you sweat. I refuse! You refuse? But refusing this means... You acknowledge that the bullet is still inside you? Order! 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 Your Honor! The defense requests that we be allowed to use the metal detector. Judge! I call for a suspension of this trial. This is an invasion of privacy.
Objection!
The statute of limitations runs out on this case today. It was you who said we had to end it right here, right now. Enough! I permit the use of the metal detector. Mr. Von Karma, you will submit yourself to testing. Thank you, Judge! Nick, what does this mean? It means victory, bitch! Not you, Maya, you're not a bitch. You're perfectly fine. The bitch on the other side of the courtroom, though, he is not so fine, and it's going to get a whole lot worse for him in just mere seconds. And I'm going to enjoy every fucking moment of it. I don't know, but we have to give it a shot. It reacted. Something's inside his right shoulder. The bullet. Mr. Von Karma. Can you smell that, Dracula? The scent of everything crumbling around you as I ruin your whole career and your future prospects from here on forward. It's quite a delicious scent, I must say. Do take it in and memorize it, because it's the last scent that you're going to be smelling as a free man. You. It was you. I was afraid this would happen. And so I remained silent. Guess I spoke too soon. Indeed, there is a bullet in my shoulder. However, it has nothing to do with this incident. What? I was shot in the shoulder long before the DL6 incident. I claim that the bullet in my shoulder has no relation to DL6. And I disagree. I have evidence in the court record that will show that you are full of shit. Specifically, this bullet from the DL6 incident. Specifically, the ballistic markings. But we'll get to that momentarily. But, Mr. Von Karma, can you prove that? Prove? I have no obligation to prove anything. It is Mr. Wright who must prove something here. Not I. Challenge accepted. Mr. Wright? Well, can you prove it? Can you prove that the bullet in Mr. Von Karma's shoulder was from DL6? Of course he can't. You don't have any of the DL6 evidence. It's because you took it out of the records room yesterday. With no proof, you cannot convict me of any crime. So sorry, Mr. Wright. No. I'm the one who's sorry, Mr. Von Karma. What? You were close. One day away from freedom. But you see, I have proof! What? Who would have thought that you would dig your own grave trying to convict Edgeworth? I can link that bullet in your shoulder to the DL6 incident. And here's my final proof! Ballistic markings!
Take that!
Eat it! Eat it good! It's gonna be delicious! That's a bullet. Where did you get that? This is the bullet used in the DL6 incident. This was taken from the heart of the victim, Mr. Gregory Edgeworth. The bullet is preserved quite nicely, with all the ballistic markings intact. Ballistic markings. You may recall the term. It came up in the first trial 2 days ago. Ballistic markings are the fingerprints of a weapon. All bullets fired from a gun are marked with that weapon's unique pattern. By examining the markings, you can tell which weapon fired the bullet. It's quite accurate. We have 2 bullets in our possession. One, the bullet removed from Gregory Edgeworth's heart. The other, Mr. Von Karma, is the bullet buried in your shoulder. We could analyze both bullets. Then, if the markings matched, we would know that both bullets have been fired from the same gun! The very same pistol. In other words, the murder weapon that killed Gregory Edgeworth! Mr. Von Karma, you will last remove the bullet from your shoulder. Then we'll compare the ballistic markings to those on this bullet. And solve this case once and for all. Well, Mr. Von Karma? You remember my gloating from just a few minutes ago? Now you can start taking in the scent, Dracula. That scream. I've heard that scream before. Wait. I know! Help! I can't breathe! Quiet! I said quiet! You're not making this any easier. Stop breathing my air. I'll stop you! Stop breathing my air! Get away. Get away from my father! And there is the scream. It's that scream I heard in the elevator 15 years ago. Von Karma! It was you who screamed! Mr. Von Karma. Edgeworth! Edgeworth! You would dare defy me! So, it was you. You and your father are my curse! You might not want to bang your head too much against that thing. You might give yourself a nasty concussion. Your father shamed me with a penalty on my record! And you left a scar on my shoulder that would never fade! I'll bury you! I'll bury you with my bare hands! Death! Death! 15 years earlier. Chief Prosecutor, I am sorry. Von Karma, it is not like you to make this kind of error. I never would have thought that Edgeworth would be the one to catch you. I was careless. I'm sorry, but you will have to be penalized. I've covered for you in the past, but not this time. You gotta love this legal system, ladies and gentlemen. Even the freaking chief prosecutor was in on this shit. Edgeworth! It was a shock like none I have ever known. Me, penalized. It took hours for me to regain my composure. Suddenly, I found myself in the darkness. I was in the court records room. I must have wandered in there without thinking where I was going. The room was pitch black. The lights must have gone out. I went out into the hall and felt my way to the elevator. I pressed the button, but nothing happened. Then, there was a noise. I was in pain. A horrible, burning pain in my shoulder. Just then, the lights came back on. The elevator door opened before my eyes. I saw 3 people inside, all lying unconscious from oxygen deprivation. Much to my surprise, a pistol lay at my feet. I knew then it was destiny. In his last moments, Gregory Edgeworth was still unconscious. He died, never knowing who had shot him. Later, he spoke through a medium, blaming Mr. Yogi. So Mr. Yogi was indeed truly innocent of the crime. His life ended up getting ruined for a crime he had absolutely nothing to do with in the end. Doesn't excuse his crime in the present for his part in trying to frame Miles for his murder of Robert Hammond, but still. He was fooled. It was the perfect crime. Who would have thought another man would come to open that elevator door? Judge! What? What are you doing? Do your job! Bring an end to this miserable charade! Now! End it! Very well. Yeah, I'm pretty much getting sick of dealing with you myself. Get out of here, Stinky. It appears that we have come a very long way to the end of this maze. 15 years later, Mr. Miles Edgeworth. Yes, Your Honor. You were innocent. You are innocent. As you said, it was all a nightmare. Yes, Your Honor. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Miles Edgeworth, not guilty! Again! I win! That is all. This court is adjourned. Not only did I get my dear client declared innocent twice in the same day, I brought down the supposedly undefeatable dragon that is Dracula. I am fucking awesome. Bow before me, legal peasants! December 28th, 5:38 p.m. District Court, Defendant Lobby Number 2. Nick! Nick! We did it! Did you see his face? Von Karma looked even paler than usual. I know. Wasn't it glorious? He's pretending to be all cool, but inside you crushed him, Nick. Crushed! Good! A man who likes crushing defense attorneys finally gets a taste of his own medicine. From a defense attorney. I gotta say, I'm impressed. It was pretty close, though. I was sure we had it. I know, I was on the verge of tears the whole time myself. But, now it's all just a good memory. You owe me a double thank you. So, it's finally over, Edgeworth. Right. Yeah? I'm not sure how to say this. Thank you, oh dear master. There you go, you can say that. I know. Try thank you. Dear master! I see. Thank you, Wright. You're welcome. I think you could have done better than that. Sorry. I'm not good at this sort of thing. You've got a lot to learn, Edgeworth. She's got you there. Whoop! Amazing, pal! You pulled through like I thought you would. I'll never forget this. I owe you one, pal. And tonight, let's party. Dinner's on me. Can you even afford it on your salary right now? I doubt it. Yeah, my salary went down a bit this month. Yeah, exactly. See? But who cares? I care. I don't want you to freaking not be able to afford rent or shit. Let me starve. You need the money more anyway. See, Mr. Edgeworth? You should take a lesson from Detective Gumshoe. That's how you say thank you. I see. Here we go. Whoop! I feel foolish. Then today has been officially declared perfect now. You feeling foolish? I get to be declared the victor again in court? It is a perfect fucking day. Don't worry. Take it a little at a time. You'll get used to it. It's been 15 years since I've seen Edgeworth this unguarded. Hey, y'all. What the hell are you doing here? Get out of here. I'm having a moment. Lotta. Y'all were great in there. Thank you. Yo, Edgeworth. Congrats. Thank y'all very much. No need to imitate her accent now. I knew you were innocent from the start, of course. Get out of here. Just look at you. You wouldn't stick your hand in the cookie jar even if no one was there. I know you would. You were the witness on the first day of the trial, weren't you? Yeah, well, let bygones be bygones, eh? Speaking of which, what are you doing now, Lotta? Who, me? Oh, I went back to college. I gave up trying to be an investigative photographer pretty quick. Really? That's too bad. Huh? Isn't that the hot dog guy from the park? Hairy butt incoming! Run! Huh? It's over, Nick. My life is over. The hairy butt has been dumped! Why the sad face, Larry? What happened now? Oh, Nick. I'm not long for this world. You don't look sick. It's Keonce. She's going to live in Paris. Paris, Nick! She's leaving me behind! Should have seen that coming. Yes, you should have. Yo, Edgy! There you are. Yes, here I am. Congrats, Edgy! Here! A little gift from me in celebration. Celebration? That's unusual for you. Hairy Butts! You come along tonight too, pal. Sorry, my treat, pal. I put the pal too soon. Huh? Thanks. Looking forward to it. Yo, Nick. That's the suit that questioned me. When he says treat, that's not police talk for prison food, right? Right? I think you'll be fine, Larry. Right. Yeah? What's up? That envelope that Larry gave me. It's got money in it. Well, yeah. It's not that strange. People give money away to celebrate sometimes. It's $38, right? I think you know what this means, right? Right, guys? An envelope with $38 in it. Harry Butts had it. And he's giving it to Edgeworth. In case you guys aren't following, I'll just go ahead and spell it out for you. Harry Butts is guilty of stealing Edgeworth's lunch money. Huh. What a weird amount. I mean, it's not a little, but it's not a lot either. $38 exactly? Nick! Wasn't that the amount of lunch money that was stolen from Mr. Edgeworth in school? $38. No. No! Larry, it was you! What are you so surprised about, Wright? Huh? Larry was absent that day from school, right? But that doesn't automatically rule him out as a suspect. What? Think back to that day, 15 years ago. Larry took the day off, but he was bored, so he came into school anyway. Then he saw the money lying there, and the rest is history. I never was good at history. You live up to the butt in your name, you butt. Ass. Hindquarters. Posterior. Rear end. Edgeworth. You didn't know, did you? I suspected. I just couldn't picture Larry protecting you like he did that day. Everyone else was saying you did it. The whole class was against you, remember? So you do remember! Yeah, too well. Right. You may not know this, but we used to have a saying back in school. When something smells, it's usually the butts. I know! Really, Wright. I'm surprised you didn't figure it out. Well, this sure is an unexpected turn of events, eh? Edgeworth. You should have told me! Now, Nick. It was 15 years ago. Don't you think the statute of limitations has run out, Mr. Edgeworth? I'd say so, yes. Today isn't over, you dick! I want this asshole prosecuted! There you have it. God. Where does that leave me? I became a defense attorney because of what you two did! Well, you have always been something of an insufferable emotionalist. Yeah, and you get worked up too easily, too. To death! The death sentence for the both of you! Man, if only I'd known, I'd have become a prosecutor! Same goes for me, only the other way around. I can't picture Phoenix in red. It doesn't suit him. For the longest time, I thought I might have killed my own father. I thought I might be a criminal. I became prosecutor in part to punish myself. If I had known the truth, I might have become a defense attorney after all. Edgeworth. Want to switch, Wright? Hey, y'all! Line up! I'll take a photo! Hey, photo time! Let's go! And after that, dinner on me! I want some lasagna! Detective Gumshoe took us out on the town that night. We celebrated Edgeworth's newfound freedom, even though Edgeworth himself was still in detention. So what, did we bring food to him? Get him some takeout? December 29th, 5:02 a.m. Wright & Co. Law Offices. Whoa. I went a little overboard yesterday. My head hurts. Drank too much? Huh? Still only 5. Maybe I should go back to sleep. What's this? A letter. Good morning, Nick. You were really impressive yesterday. Seeing you, it made me think about what I'm doing here. I'm a spirit medium. In training, of course. I wanted to help Mr. Edgeworth, too. I wanted to help you. And you did! You managed to snag this important evidence for me before Dracula ran off with all the rest. But I couldn't. I was useless. I just said you weren't! So, I decided to go back to my training. I'll become a full-fledged spirit medium, for starters. I couldn't say it to your face, so I left this letter. Goodbye, Nick. I don't recall giving you permission to quit! Then again, I guess you wouldn't necessarily need permission. It's not like you're my slave. But still, come on, you weren't useless. Goodbye. What time is it? Gah! The first trains for the mountains have already left. To the station. I guess I'm too late. Hey! Looks like you missed a train. Lucky me. Nick! Maya! Would you stop looking so glum? So, you're leaving. Yeah. It's hard being a spirit medium who can't talk to spirits. And I think you'll do fine without me, Nick. Be good. Okay?
Hold it!
Wait! What? I never could have saved Edgeworth without your help. Huh? On the last day of the trial, I heard her. I heard Mia's voice. You heard my sister? Yes. Only her voice, but still. It was at the very end when I thought we'd lost everything. Well, that's my sister for you. Detective Gumshoe helped, Mr. Grossberg, and even Larry. I'm the only one who couldn't help. I was useless, Nick. But you were the one who stopped Von Karma, Maya. Huh? I didn't do anything! All I did was wander around in a daze. Sorry, but I have evidence that you helped. Evidence? Show Maya some evidence to cheer her up. This bullet right here.
Take that!
Bullet? We still haven't given that back? Or any of this evidence, really? Von Karma was convinced he had taken all the evidence pertaining to DL6. But you were the one who rescued the last piece of evidence we needed. This was the bullet that put an end to Von Karma. And you were the one who gave it to me. Nick. Thanks, Maya. I couldn't have done it without you. So you don't need to leave. You can come back and help me water Charlie. And, you know, clean up the rest of the office, because I do the important work. I talk to people. I defend. You? You are my moral support and my lackey around the office. I'll be back soon. Huh? I'm going to complete my training and come back. Okay. I'll be waiting. Of course you will. You can't run that office by yourself. You're hopeless. And yet you were gonna leave me behind anyway. What do you think that says about you? I don't know about that. So, this is it. See you soon, Maya. Thanks, Nick. No, thank you. And please come back soon. The office is boring as shit without you. And so my story ends. Time to turn a page. Unfortunately, your story is far from over. We got a whole shit ton of games, after all. And say goodbye to the novice defense attorney that I once was. Now a new story begins. With the same old crazy cast of characters. Ha! Don't think you've graduated yet, amateur. Mr. Wright. Perhaps you'd like to rethink that claim. Yes, Your Honor. Oh, I got a bad feeling about this.
Objection!
I agree with them, though. And we did it! We've cleared the game! Hey, pal. Mr. Edgeworth came down to the precinct to wish me a Happy New Year. Talk about a pleasant surprise. Whoop! Detective Gumshoe! Then he hung his head low and went right back outside. Kind of like he was embarrassed or something. Strange, huh? Nothing strange about it. I'd be mildly embarrassed too. Okay, maybe not. I have little shame during some occasions. Huh? Nick? Nah, I haven't seen him lately. Who, me? I've been working at a cheese shop. That Missy's a nice lady, but she's not exactly what you call a cheap date. Huh? Oh, she's in Hawaii right now, yeah. Maybe one of these days, someone will take pity enough on you to not move away from you. I doubt it, though. You are something. Who, Wright? Yeah, I remember him. I hear he's been busy lately. You know, not to ring my own bell, but I sort of taught him everything he knows. I'm sure he's grateful. Sure you... Well, I certainly taught you an important lesson, that's for sure. And you did teach me one thing, how to kick the prosecution's ass. So yes, you did teach me some stuff. Phoenix Wright, the defense attorney from whom I wrote that affidavit for, yes. But you should know, I've taken over the management of the Gatewire Hotel recently. Should you be in the area, please stop by. That's quite the promotion. From bellboy to manager. Ahem! Oh, it's you. Phoenix Wright. Ah, yes, under Mia's understudy, was he? Wonder how he's doing. Haven't seen him of late. Ah, the days of my youth. Like the scent of fresh lemon, you see. And I'm not gonna really miss you all that much, Grossberg, to be perfectly blunt. Phoenix Wright. Is he an actor? Well, I'm not buying it. You can't be a star with a name like Phoenix, and here she goes. So long, old bag. You were quite the conversationalist. I'm pleased to announce that Pink Princess is a hit. I sure owe that Mr. Wright a great deal. Oh, and I'm keeping my face out of the public eye till the show's over. Wouldn't want to ruin any kids' dreams, you know? That is both heartwarming and sad all at once. Sad because, well, you can't show your face, but heartwarming because, well, at least you care about the kids' dreams. Hey there, Penny. Oh, I got a letter from Mai the other day. It sounds like she caught a cold standing under a waterfall. I wanted to visit, but I didn't have time, so I sent her some Pink Princess trading cards. She says she can't buy them where she is. What kind of place is she living at anyway? It's a very remote location, full of nature and ghosts. Right. Who's that? You want to talk? Let's talk Pink Princess, alright? But you know, I snuck into the studio the other day, and I saw her, the one-sided Pink Princess suit. What a dog. It was kind of a shock for a boy of my tender age. Well, who was under the suit? Yeah, I remember Wright, that lawyer guy. Huh, me? I'm in training to become a paranormal photographer. You know that picture I took of everyone? Well, just behind him, there's a ghost. For real. Now that's talent. I'm gonna be famous. A ghost, you say? Mia! What the hell are you doing in my shot? Not that you're unwelcome, though.
Hold it!
Achievement unlocked, turnabout goodbyes. Yeah, we're not done. We still got one more additional episode to go through. A brand new episode has been added. Episode 5, Rise from the Ashes. So, fun fact, Rise from the Ashes, Episode 5, was never originally a part of this game back when it first came out on the Game Boy Advance, which back then the series was a Japanese exclusive. This episode was actually added to the first game after it got released across seas on the Nintendo DS. And I think the episode was actually added sometime after the third game at that time was made. So, yeah, it's a bonus episode for every port of the game onward. Now, how's it going to tie into the rest of the series? Well, that's something that we're going to have to experience for ourselves as we continue playing. So, yeah. Like I said, we got one more episode, so this Let's Play is far from over. So, for now, I'm going to go ahead and call this episode off here. And we can start episode 5, Rise from the Ashes, in the next episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this latest episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney. If you did and you want to see more content from me, feel free to subscribe to my channel. I will see you all next time. Take care.